Hey everyone, and welcome to part three of our Getting Started series. We're going to talk about today how to fund your categories after you've initialized your accounts and also have set up things in the configuration page itself. Now those are two previous videos, so we're not going to go over that again. But I'm going to pick up where I left off there. We had just added some transactions here to the transactions page. And we had verified that we had seen those account values update on the dashboard, and also we can see our available to budget amount now has some funds for us to actually put into categories. So to do that, I'm going to go over to the category transfers view. I've filled out a few details here already, just to save some time and not to repeat myself in front of you all on the video. So the from category is available to budget. That will almost always be the case when you're actually establishing your budget month to month. There may be some times where you fund, um, for example, if one category goes negative, you might move some funds between categories, but that will be, I think, relatively uncommon for most folks. So before we actually get things started off here and I start filling in categories, I'm going to introduce you to this tool up here in the right-hand side of the page. Um, with this particular tool, I do have a drop-down that lets me go through all of my categories and view the monthly amount that we've assigned that category. So if you remember back from a previous video, we had $200 budgeted towards our dining out category on the configuration page. And then down below that, when I've selected a category, I actually get a little helper tool here that tells me how much I need to budget for this category to actually meet my target for this particular month. So in this case, the monthly amount and the target here or the suggested amount match because I'm starting fresh and there were no previous funds left over from the previous month or anything like that. So a very clean addition. As you start with more or as you get into budgeting and you have more than 1 month under your belt, you may see this number. If you don't completely empty a category, this number will be a little bit different, and that'll just help you top the category off to that monthly amount. So for dining out, I know that I need $200 for that, and once I've budgeted that in to dining out, I can see that the tool updates and it tells me I've met my target for the month, um, and I don't need any additional funds there. So that's great. I know I'm going to do, let's say, groceries and gasoline next. So let's check our tool here. That tells me that I need 375, and then gasoline, which was 120. So I'll get those added in. I'll skip down the list a little bit further to show you a goal value here. So if you remember, for this particular category, we set this up as a goal. So our monthly contribution towards this goal was $15, and then our actual end target, or when we've reached our goal, we'll have $100 in this account. So the tool is telling me here to complete this goal, I need another $100, but I typically every month only budget $15 towards that in the monthly amount. So that's what I'm going to do. And then finally, I'm going to take a look at establishing an emergency fund. So the majority of my savings account goes towards that emergency fund, and I'm just going to move that in there so that those funds have a job. So I still over here on the left, I've got a little bit more money available to budget, about $2,700 there. I could continue down the list for all of my categories and plan my budget for the month of May. I'm not going to do that right now because that would just be kind of boring to listen to me talk about it and see all that. But I think you get the idea there. And then over on the dashboard, you can see that I start to have some colors and numbers here lighting up. I did move $200 into my dining out category, 375, 120, 15, and so on. And I do see my 10,000 down here in my emergency fund. So that's how to actually fund your categories every month using category transfers. Those funds typically come from available to budget, um, which was available to us when we initialized our accounts. And funds can also go into available to budget when you receive your paychecks. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in another video on adding transactions. So that's it for category transfers, and we'll see you in the next video.